18K. We're flying.
What the fuck? It just jumps up to 18K? Please tell me that there's some, like, leeway between here and this. Pretty much all of yesterday, I have been recommended or told that I need to react to this video or else. So, yeah, we're doing that today. Watch. Oh, hey, that's me. We're looking over this. Whatever this $20,000 furry commit. You know, that doesn't surprise me. I haven't seen this video. I don't know what this is about, but I've been recommended this time and time again. And I don't know who this Izzzyzzz person is, but I love their makeup. Like, I love what they're doing with their makeup. I dig it. Also, Charlie reacted to this, so this has got to be good. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what this is about besides the $20,000 Furry Commission. I'm assuming it's got some twist. Dark Past. Now, this ought to be good. Before we even, like, click onto this video, I see the outline, the silhouette of the character. It looks like a protogen head with, like, chicken legs. I don't know what this is, but I've been told, hey, it's a good video.
It's a hard fact of life that furry art is one of...
I love their voice. I love their... It has been 2 seconds. I haven't seen one video from this person. I love their voice. I'm watching more of them later. Why is there so much Garfield? Why so much Garfield? But either way, I love the look, I love the Garfield, and I love their voice. I feel like I'm falling in love with another video essay channel.
It's a hard fact of life that furry art is one of the biggest industries online. For some reason, a lot of furries seem to be extremely wealthy and willing to drop hundreds and even thousands on artwork of their custom characters.
This person, are they a closet furry or not? They don't give off like vibes that they're a full-on furry, but they already know one of the core aspects of the furry fandom. That scares me. It has been 10 seconds, and they understand one of the core aspects of suspiciously wealthy furries that exist, and that scares me.
Characters. Basically, if you want to make some money, start selling furry art. There'll always be some mysteriously rich furry benefactor out there who'll buy it, especially if it's on the more, let's say, risque side. But one of the most expensive sales ever took place on DeviantArt, where a piece of custom furry art sold for $20,000. Needless to say, chaos and controversy ensued, and the legendary sale is still talked about today. Here's the story of the 20K furry. But we first have to delve into the world of adoptables. For the uninitiated, adoptables are basically character designs which are sold and traded. An artist will usually make multiple adoptables called a batch and sell them to people who will then draw and roleplay with them. They can range in price from mere dollars to, well, thousands. And while most adoptables are brought simply for their cool designs, there's a large market of expensive premium adoptables. These adoptables are highly sought after.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This has got to be an old one, too. How old was this? Because here's the thing. I remember watching VivzyPop, as I remember them. I remember watching them for, like, their speed arts and their art tutorials and whatnot. This has got to be an old fucking one. How long ago was this? Does anyone have, like, little info dump on that? Yeah, that's how I was introduced to furries, from the Wanna Die Young music video. Oh my god, that was back when I was in high school. I was halfway through high school. That was almost a decade ago. Memory unlocked. Yeah, pretty much. This is like, if you want to know where the first stages of me being a furry were, I used to watch their speed paints and their music videos that they did. If that doesn't show you that I was a furry in the making, I don't know what will. Meanwhile, I'm a 24-year-old furry now.
Because they were made by a popular artist or because they're a closed species. Once again,
God!
I'll explain for the uninitiated.
This person knows so well!
Of adoptables. But instead of just making a random character design, the artist creates a whole species with its own set of defining traits and characteristics. There are open species where anyone can make
I just realized they're drawing Garfield. Why did it take me that long to realize that they're drawing Garfield in a boat? And that's sort of like the background footage that they're using here. This video has layers.
Character, and there are closed species where you have to buy one.
While the ethics
of closed species have been a hot topic in the art community for a long time, there's no denying the ridiculous popularity that some closed species have reached.
Who is this person? They've explained like a good 30 to 40% of how like the furry art community works in less than like 3 minutes. Who is this person? They're a genius. They just know their stuff, I guess. I'm just shocked in a good way. Like I'm just blown away that someone actually knows how this works. suspiciously wealthy furries. Furries that'll spend an exorbitant amount of money on, like, art. Furry art sells more if it's, like, lewd or NSFW or as it were. And closed species are worth more money, apparently. They know so much, and they just summarized it into, like, 3 minutes. I've done multiple videos on these, like, different topics, and I couldn't get nearly as close to how well they're explaining it. I might have found a new favorite YouTube channel, not gonna lie. They know so much, Jesus.
Some species are so sought after that people will spend hours in bidding wars and will shell out months worth of wages just to get their grubby little paws on them.
I don't understand
the buyers
that.
have actually formed a bizarre community of their own, almost gamifying the purchase of adoptables. Buyers themselves became famous in the community just for owning rare adoptables, while newbies were advised to stick to more beginner-friendly species which didn't have vicious bidding wars, complex trading politics, and high price tags. Yeah, these rich furries were running their economy better than most governments do. But back to our story. It all
That's
kind of
funny. That's true.
Corps, who were selling a closed species called Grims. From the Grim Corps page,
they look cool.
Quote, Grims are creatures from an ancient species that have been thoroughly domesticated by humanity.
Yeah. Like most are. They come from space. They were found in a well. They were found in a ravine. And then humans are like, this is cool. Let's domesticate them. And that's the species. Oh, and they're ancient. I forgot. There's almost always some little lore tidbit that they're ancient. Yeah. But they look cool. I like them.
Along with many other means of assistance. They can
wait, hold on. Thick. That's all I want to point out. Thick.
Protection along with many other means of assistance. They can be created to be loving and cuddly companions or stern and alert defenders depending on your needs. Well, personally, the whole muscular bipedal animal companion thing is a little weird to me. I can understand why people wanted to invest in these things.
Same.
Not only are the designs and artwork nice, but you kind of get to feel like you're part of an exclusive rich people club. It's basically the same as wearing designer clothes. You're in it for the aesthetic, but the status of owning something expensive plays a big part too. And oh boy, were Grims expensive. These things are regularly sold for over $300, with many buyers becoming well known in the community for their large number of Grims and the sheer amount that they've invested into the closed species. So now that we know a bit about adoptables and Grim Corps themselves, we can dive into the story of the infamous 20k furry with a little more.
I'm so envious of them. They explained adoptables and closed species in 4 minutes. In 4 fucking minutes. Like the whole tidbit about them in 4 minutes. Meanwhile, it takes me 20 minutes each to talk about one of these topics. I wish I had the skills that this person does to be able to explain that fully.
But what we do know is that on July 12th of 2019, one of the co-founders of Grim Corps, Toothless Ego, started an auction to get a custom Grim. It was going to be a Cypherus Grim 2, the most rare and heavily sought after type. And
ooh, so rare.
$800. The original creator of the species, known as Mr. Grimble, was going to help out with the auction to make it go smoothly and even volunteered to throw in some free art to the winner. The auction started and was going well, with bids going into the thousands as expected. But
Jesus.
things began to spin out of control as the bids increased with no sign of stopping. Here are a few quotes from the bidding war which were salvaged from the now post. Note that the user Kintsugi Kitsune.
To be fair though, I've seen other furry art commissions go higher. Also, would you say that this is strictly like furry art commission? I mean, granted, you know, it's a species that someone's created. It's very furry-esque, so yeah. But, like, I'm gonna be honest, most other furry species that I've seen aren't, like, to this extent, this popular that you're willing to sell one for this amount. Even primogens, or primogens? I can't remember how to say it. Even primogens haven't gone for this much. And I've seen those auctions. Not that I participated in them, but just out of morbid curiosity. Maybe this is just a closed species thing. Maybe it's just a DeviantArt thing. This being on DeviantArt makes a lot of sense now.
Caravan, 9,500. Good luck, comrade.
Holy shit!
Same to you, dude. I'm flabbergasted in the best possible way. What
the
amazing
fuck?
community that brings us together like this. 18k. We're flying.
What the fuck? It just jumps up to 18k? Please tell me that there's some, like, leeway between here and this. Someone in their right mind didn't just say, you know, I'm gonna drop another 9,000 on this without trying to, like, finagle it up a bit. I got 9,000 to dispose of. God, I wish I had that much. This is why I wish I was one of those suspiciously wealthy furries. But I'm never going to be because I'm a YouTuber. So here we are.
Through space now. Ah, okay. 20k and I tap. Well fought,
Oh
brethren.
my god.
I fucking salute you because holy damn. If you win, your grandma's gonna knock it out of the friggin' park. I can feel it. 20,500. Tap while you still can. I desire epicness above all things. Edit. All light will end. At this point, it's unclear whether the other
that
bidder
is from
tapped out or
DeviantArt.
Mr. Grimble stepped in to end the bidding.
Garfield looks
Caravan won
great.
the
Oh my
custom
god.
grim at a whopping 20,000.
Here's the thing as well. I could care less about, like, whatever this grim species is. Whoever's doing this art, I want to commission them for a Garfield art piece. I know they'll probably just do it as is, but, like, I'm more interested in that than I am the species. And it's not to say I don't care what this person is talking about, what Izzy's talking about, but it's just like, Garfield is more interesting in this case. I'm sorry. Like, I've been through the whole song and dance with, like, closed species, furry open species, go over my species so it can be popular. Like, it's just, I've been through that time and time again. It's old to me. Seeing Primogens go up to, like, $1,000 to be sold for isn't new news. But to be fair, the fact that this was found, I guess, how recently was this? Like last year or so. The fact that this was covered again last year just goes to show that DeviantArt is in its own little world. And I guess that makes sense. And I think that's for the better. Maybe. It is called DeviantArt after all. You know, fair. It's in the name. Either way, sorry. I forgot what they were talking about after this.
I fucking salute you because holy damn. If you win, your grandma's gonna knock it out of the friggin' park. I can feel it. 20,500. Tap while you still can. I desire epicness above all things. Edit. All light will end. At this point, it's unclear whether the other bidder tapped out or Mr. Grimble stepped in to end the bidding, but Caravan won the custom grim
I wouldn't.
at a whopping
Keep giving me more money.
$20,500. Needless to say, the community was in an uproar, so much so that the comments had to be disabled and hidden. Some were congratulatory to Caravan and the Grim Corp team for their big sale, while others were disgusted by the ordeal and accused Mr. Grimble of being greedy or even faking the sale.
Oh, I love that. Maybe this really is a furry commission, because the same arguments were made about the $50,000 fursuit commission, which I'll probably go over that at some point, like a whole in-depth video on what happened with that. But, like, you know, hashtag closed species drama. Oh my god. Also, of course, it's from Tumblr. That's the thing. At first, I was skeptical that this was a furry art commission. You know, just because it's like a closed species and on DeviantArt doesn't mean that it's furry necessarily. But, like, the more they're going into this, and the more I'm seeing, like, the backlash and drama come from this, it's looking more and more furry every second. I'm curious here. Mr. Grimble could have had the decency/morals to stop the Grem auction before it got to 20K, but she loves brown bosses and people who give her money. It isn't the Grem owner's fault, but the species owner's fault for allowing an auction to go that high. Also, gatekeeping a fictional species. Be like, it's a fiction. That's the thing. Like, compared to the fursuit drama, this is like a picture. This is something that you will not ever be able to touch. You can print off a picture of it and touch it. You can touch it on your computer screen, but you will never be able to touch this thing, and people are gatekeeping it. What? I mean, the same thing. Like, most of the people also, like, accusing of this, like, if you were in the shoes of this person who's in charge of the auction, would you turn down $20,000? You're telling me you do that. Don't pull this holier than thou crap. You'd take the $20,000. I would. If someone wants a protogen with chicken legs for $20,000, who am I to deny them that? That's all it comes down to. Oh.
Symbol of being greedy or even faking the sale. While the auction was won, Caravan would have to wait a while for the custom adoptable to be designed and drawn up, and the community was on the edge of their seats in anticipation for the big reveal of what it would look like. With the community in shambles from the shocking event, you'd think that Caravan would lay low for a little bit, right? Nope. Only 9 days after the $20,000 adoptable purchase, Caravan brought another Grim adoptable for $3,000.
That looks kind of cool.
Yes, this is on top of the $20,000. People could only watch on in shock, bewilderment, and horror as Caravan placed a bid on another adoptable, this time of another closed species called Browbirds. They placed a $6,000 bid, but the owner of Browbirds banned them halfway through the auction. Caravan speculated that Mr. Grimble told the owner of Browbirds not to sell to them due to their recent purchase history.
But But why? Do you want an exclusive species community, or do you want money? Because saying you want to put things up for auction doesn't mean you want an exclusive species. Whatever. I'm overthinking this.
Understandably, they were a little wary about a buyer who had spent
$26,000
on Adoptables in just over a week, and their bids were removed from the auction. The Adoptable community was still reeling from the drama.
I want to know where that money came from. I'm just deathly curious now. $26,000 at your disposal, and you're on DeviantArt. DeviantArt of all places, and you have $26,000 at your disposal. Who? And it's not even just like the whole thing of like, I take that money and put it on like a car, not some dumb art. I don't care. You can do what you want with your money, but I'm just deathly curious. How and who? Even people with that money wouldn't be on DeviantArt. At least I don't think. I mean, even Fur Affinity makes more sense. Like Fur Affinity of all places. Or some other auction site, but DeviantArt too. It's kind of crazy. Either way.
Later, any mention of the 20k adoptable would draw angry commenters out of the woodworks, and it was still a pretty hot button topic. Meanwhile, the community was still waiting with bated breath to see.
I mean, to be fair, I know I keep pausing, but to be fair, if the only thing that I did was be part of a community like this closed species, which I'm not bashing a community, you can do whatever you want. If you want to be part of this, it's completely fine. But like, if all I did was be a part of this community, yeah, you know, people would come out of the woodwork and start bashing anyone who talked about it. Because what else is there to do? That's what I'm curious about. What do you do? Kind of curious, like, for those, like, and again, I'm not bashing those in a community like this. What do you do, like, in this? Is it just, like, sort of like, you know, you get to meet other people who have this similar interest, that you meet them who might have, like, more common interests with outside of that, too? Like, is it kind of like furry, but, like, even more niche? That's what I'm wondering. So like anyone who's a part of these communities like that, please let me know. Like I want to know like what the appeal is of this. I'm assuming it's something similar to furry, but even more niche, like even more smaller and like subset. That's what I'm kind of seeing that as. But also like it's kind of funny because like I don't know what people do in these communities besides that. I gotta go back. I forgot what point we were here.
The $20,000 adoptable purchase, Caravan brought another Grim adoptable for $3,000. Yes, this is on top of the $20,000. People could only watch on in shock, bewilderment, and horror as Caravan placed a bid on another adoptable, this time of another closed species called Browbirds. They placed a $6,000 bid, but the owner of Browbirds banned them halfway through the auction. Caravan speculated
$30,000
told the owner of Browbirds not to sell to them due to their recent purchase history. Understandably, they were a little wary about a buyer who had spent nearly $25,000 on Adoptables in just over a week, and their bids were removed from the auction. The Adoptable community was still reeling from the drama even months later. Any mention of the 20k Adoptable would draw angry commenters out of the woodworks, and it was still a pretty hot button topic.
Yeah, because you got nothing else to talk about.
Waiting with bated breath to see the custom Grim. They wanted to see what a $20,000 commission looked like. Would it have the painstaking detail of a Michelangelo? The sorrowful realism of a Rembrandt? The dedication to perfection of a Da Vinci? Well, all was revealed on February 9th of 2020 when the $20,000 Grim was unveiled. And, well, the colors are nice. I'm being harsh, it's a very pretty design, and since it was custom, Caravan had obviously asked for it to look this way. But honestly, you can tell that it's been rushed. The shading looks a little muddy and unrefined. Many parts
I don't know any of this.
Rendered at all, and it overall looks too loose and sketchy.
I think it looks kind of neat. I mean, you can laugh all you want, but like you ultimately get what you pay for. That's just what it is. I mean, maybe compared to other designs, it does look a bit more rushed. I don't know. I can't judge that. I'm not an artist. But like to me, I'm just like, looks. Literally, when you put $20,000 into something like art, I don't know what is expected, you know? Whatever. At this point, I'll give my thoughts on this after.
The design aren't rendered at all, and it overall looks too loose and sketchy. I'm not saying the art is bad or ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but in the context of $20,000, it just doesn't seem to have enough time put into it. As soon as the Grim was unveiled, it was carnage. The community was outraged and hateful messages.
I'm deathly curious now. That Grim that Caravan Outpost paid for is horrid. That is in no way the quality anyone even paying $20 should receive. Did they even get their money back or what? Interesting.
just flooded in, calling it ugly, unfinished, and horrid. The outrage was reignited all over again, with arguments and hate filling the Grimcorp page and drawing the attention of the entire adoptable community. So what
That's
on
funny.
earth was going on?
That's a good thing, theoretically speaking. You know, like, not to sound like that guy, but there's no such thing as bad publicity. If you're getting the attention of all other adoptable communities, then I guess that's a good thing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into this. Maybe I'm thinking that, you know, this is worth more than it actually is.
Caravan, and why were they spending such insane amounts? Was this some sort of scam? Was it secretly Jeff Bezos behind the account? Well, the truth was actually much darker.
Uh-oh.
After
Darker.
the Grim was unveiled, Caravan would make a shocking DeviantArt post explaining why they had spent so much. Quote, "Last summer, I was the one who bid exactly 20.5k on a custom Grim slot from Toothless Ego. Why did I bid that much? I'd finally gone on meds for my severe anxiety and depression, and unfortunately I was on too high of a dose of my SSRI. This caused me to be manic. One of the symptoms of mania is going on spending sprees."
Oh.
Caravan explained that they had told Mr. Grimble about their manic state while bidding, and asked for at least a partial refund, which was refused. At this point, Caravan threatened to issue a chargeback, further souring their relationship with Mr. Grimble, which was already tenuous.
Yikes.
Eventually,
I mean, damn, that is dark. That's not good at all. Damn, I just don't even know what to say about that. Whatever.
deciding against this for unknown reason, Caravan instead demanded that the custom adoptable be finished immediately or they would take legal action. By this point, they were tired of waiting for their custom and were stressed out by their worsening relationship with the Grimcorp staff. It seemed
Wait,
like
how
they just
long
wanted
was
the
this
adoptable
taking?
to be over and done with, and 24 hours after their legal threats, they received their custom Grim. They themselves admit that it was a rush job, and they must take some responsibility in causing that rush by threatening legal action. If they hadn't done that and given the artist a bit more time, maybe it could have come out a little bit more.
Oh, that's
faster.
why.
Ultimately,
That's why it
Caravan's
looked weird, because it was rushed. Not on the artist end. I mean, it was rushed on the artist end, but the cause of it was originally the commissioner to begin with. Okay, I mean, see, that's why, like, commissions like this need to have, like, absurd levels of good communication. Like, maybe not even, like, $20,000, but even for the case of, like, fursuit makers, where there's, like, a big amount of money on the line, good communication is absolutely, like, necessary. And that's just what I've learned with, like, anything. Because, like, a lot of money is a lot of money. And you're putting a lot of trust in someone with a lot of money. And also something that's as big as this and as big of a project as this, like, requires time. So I can understand, you know, the worries on both ends. But God, this ended so worst case scenario for everyone. I just feel bad. Damn. I want to watch this one more time. Hold on. I gotta go back a bit.
$20,000. It just doesn't seem to have enough time put into it. As soon as the Grim was unveiled, it was carnage. The community was outraged and hateful messages flooded in, calling it ugly,
drama.
Unfinished, and horrid. The outrage
Hashtag
was
closed species
reignited
drama.
all over again, with arguments and hate filling the Grimcorp page and drawing the attention of the entire adoptable community. So what on earth was going on? Who was Caravan and why were they spending such insane amounts? Was this some sort of scam? Was it secretly Jeff Bezos behind the account? Well, the truth was actually much darker. After the Grim was unveiled, Caravan would make a shocking DeviantArt post explaining why they had spent so much. Quote, "Last summer, I was the one who bid exactly 20.5k on a custom Grim slot from Toothless Ego. Why did I bid that much? I'd finally gone on meds for my severe anxiety and depression, and unfortunately I was on too high of a dose of my SSRI. This caused me to be manic. One of the symptoms of mania is going on spending sprees." Caravan explained that they had told Mr. Grimble about their manic state while bidding, and asked for at least a partial refund, which was refused. At this point, Caravan threatened to issue a chargeback, further souring their relationship with Mr. Grimble, which was already tenuous. Eventually deciding against this for unknown reason, Caravan instead demanded that the custom adoptable be finished immediately or they would take legal action.
I'm just reading this now because, like, I don't know who initiated what, because that's what it ultimately comes down to with this whole situation. It's just he said, she said, they said, chargeback, you know, like, as soon as I hear a chargeback in something, usually the relationship between, like, the commissioner and the commissionee is already soured, which, granted, you know, shouldn't be when $20,000 is invested into this. You know, $20,000 worth of this art and then $20,000 being spent on, like, it's just, it's not a good situation. Like, that's why communication is absolutely pivotal. And, like, you could point fingers, I guess, at this point, but ultimately just, like, communication should have been the utmost importance on both ends. Just like reading this now, I messaged Mr. Grimble and Tooth that I wanted my artwork ASAP, or I would take legal action against them. Well, how long was it taking? Was it the point of just, like, That's weird. I was utterly sick of waiting, of being taken advantage of feeling tense and feeling like I was walking on eggshells, so I didn't anger the mighty Grim gods and not get my custom. You know, that is fair. That is fair reasoning there. About 24 hours later, Cypher's Grim appeared in my inbox. He's definitely a rush job, but I considered the matter over. Fair enough.
Action. By this point they were tired of waiting for their custom and were stressed out by their worsening relationship with the Grim Corp staff. It seemed like they just wanted the Adoptable to be over and done with, and 24 hours after the illegal threats they received their custom Grim. They themselves admit that it was a rush job, and they must take some responsibility in causing that rush by threatening legal action. If they hadn't done that and given the artist a bit more time, maybe it could have come out a little bit more finished looking. Ultimately,
True.
Caravan's post received both backlash and support, with some claiming that Mr. Grimble was purposely taking advantage of their mental illness, and others claiming that Caravan was lying about their mania. And while it is true that Caravan's post lacked many screenshots to back up their claims, I personally believe that they were telling the truth. Even looking back at their original bids, they were talking in a kind of manic way, and their compulsion to spend thousands and thousands over the span of a few weeks also fits the bill. While the deed is done and in the past now, I personally think that Mr. Grimble should have issued a refund. $20,000 was already a ludicrous amount of money, and after the refund, Mr. Grimble would still walk away with around $10,000. I think issuing a partial refund would have been the empathetic and kind thing to do just on a base moral level.
But also, like, what are you losing to begin with? It's like, even in this case, comparing this, like, apples to oranges with, like, fursuit making. Like, say you're, like, halfway done with the fursuit, you have the materials, and you're almost done with it, and someone wants, like, a partial refund for it. I don't know how the fursuit working process works, or fursuit making process works, but, like, imagine someone wants a full refund or partial refund. Well, you can't really do that when you're already invested the time and money into it. I'm kind of curious when the message was sent about, like, the legal action compared to when they were actually planning on starting, like, the commission. Because, like, in this case, if you're giving a partial refund back, what are you losing? If it's as early as I'm thinking they hadn't started the art piece, what are you losing? You're getting, theoretically, like, still money for free, I guess. But, like, God, this was just so poorly handled. This was so poorly handled. I'd say especially on, like, the artist's end, or, like, the species owner's end. I'm gonna take that side, because, like, yeah, this just didn't end great by any means. I feel so bad now. I thought, like, here's the thing, like, even this makes the $50,000 commission slot for fursuiting, for the fursuit, look so much better. And I thought that was, like, a weird mess where people were like, oh, it's a bad thing, good thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Twitter's awful, I'm logging off. But, like, damn, I just feel really bad.
At the end of the day, Caravan was still responsible for their purchases despite the unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah.
I can understand Mr. Grimble being frustrated at someone flaking out on such a big purchase. It's a tough situation either way, but in the end it was resolved and Caravan got their rushed 20k Grim. After this, Caravan was subsequently banned from the Grim Corp's page and deactivated their account. It's unknown whether they still have a presence online, but it's likely that they're simply going under a new name these days.
Doesn't that just defeat the purpose of the entire fucking purchase? If you can't partake in the community, that doesn't make it any better, that makes it even worse!
The story of the $20,000 Furry Commission is a strange one. One of the biggest purchases in furry history may have only been made because of the buyer's drug-induced mania and nearly tore an entire community apart. The fact that the design was rushed was the cherry on top and cemented the story in the Internet Hall of Fame for its controversy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have had a great start to 2021. Yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much to Wingfox for sponsoring it. And yeah, I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
Now I just feel bad. I mean, I'm kind of glad that I learned about it, but also, like, there's no happy ending to any of this. I don't know, maybe that's, like, a whole debate point, because there's, like, both sides were, like, at fault in this situation. You know, with being responsible for money, and then instigating with legal issues or legal action. Like, that's not something anyone should really use in this case. It's just like, this isn't good. And in the end, the dude was banned. Like, what do you even do at that point? I mean, yeah, you paid for the art that you paid for. You got the art you paid for. But like, it's supposed to, like, in part allow you to interact with that community a bit more. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of like weird with the whole, like, even furry and fursuiting, for example. Hate to say it, but there is a bit of an in when you have a fursuit to an extent. I hate to say that at all. Don't crucify me, Twitter, but like, it is there. So like, even in this case, like, that's kind of the same thing. Oh, like, that's a year and a half of rent for me. That is literally a year and a half's worth of rent for me in that money. And, you know, ultimately, that's, like, the moral of this. You can pay $20,000. You can pay $20,000 for art. Like, that is completely reasonable to do so. People shouldn't be judged for making those transactions if they're able to. If they are reasonably able to. So I don't know. I don't really know what else to add that hasn't really been spoken about this. I'm just like, because that's the thing. When I react to stuff, usually I have more to say with contributions about like my experience or the community's experience or whatever, but it's still just like, damn, this shit's crazy and didn't even have a good ending in any means. And now I just feel sad. But either way, glad that you guys recommended that to me. Please keep recommending me videos to watch and things to go over. I like this. I like doing this. Anyways, bye YouTube. Can we get some bye YouTube in the chat? Bye YouTube.